Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Just coming in, just checking each of those avenues. Yeah, muting the one that I needed to, but it wasn't the microphone, at least. It was just the speaker. Good morning, Carrie Ann. And we have Keza, and we've got Jennifer on YouTube. Wonderful to have you here. And have started having a wonderful day, of course. Now, I'm Boundy, Psychic Medium, and I'm bringing to you the daily Lenormand card spread readings. Reading. It's not readings. This is a general card spread that is for everyone to practice your own intuitive senses, your psychic senses, what messages you're receiving, because it's you who knows your own context of what's happening in your life, to be able to practice, like interpreting what the cards are meaning for you. I'm bringing to you my general intuitive guided reading as I'm reading the cards. And we've got Kim here as well, who is travelling to work. Good morning, Kim. So it's in this context that these are read. So tune into your spiritual guides as we head over to the cards. And here we go. I shall just bring that up in its size a little. There we go. Now, what we're using is the Fairy Tale Lenormand deck. It's a tin. You can hear that. That hold these cards and the little guidebook that is a replica of the tin cover. Cute little guidebook. I do use that for these readings whilst I'm becoming familiar with this particular deck. It's a newer one that I've had it for a while but not used it much, but I've been concentrating on using this one for the last, is it a month? Or a little bit more, just so that we can become familiar with some of what the meanings are behind the fairy tales being brought into this context of a deck of Lenormand cards. I know the meanings of what each of the cards themselves are in the older sense, but it's lovely to explore something that is new, that's being bringing in a different aspect, because not any one of them is 100% absolute the only way to interpret cards. So here we are learning, and learning is a gift, even when pain is your teacher. And it can be all sorts of levels of pain, but it doesn't have to be either. Learning's fun. I love learning. I'll be a perpetual, everlasting student. So that gorgeous owl sitting on a stump of a tree, looking so wise. I love the owls, as you know. Right, let's zoom in a bit closer to the cards themselves, and hopefully the lineup's not too bad. Here we go. We've got, just have to do it down a tiny bit more so we can see the labels. Okay, here we go with the moon. We've got the heart and the scythe. Now remember, we're learning the fan pattern, so what is the main part is the birds, because this is what is holding that's supporting. This stem of the fan, or the handle of the fan, is the birds for today. So that's the main focus, but it's being supported by moon, heart, scythe. So let's go to each of these cards. I'll try to zoom in as we're pointing to them. This time I'm going to read the birds first as that main focus, and then we'll read how these supporting ones come into the story with it. And I have a funny feeling I've got an issue with one of my connections. Just dropped out. The Soulpreneurs one did. No, it didn't. Looked like it on the stream. Bit weird, isn't it, sometimes, the technology? Isn't it? And Keza, you're suggesting it was a full moon last night. I have a funny feeling it's actually the new moon week this week. I don't think it's full moon. But I can certainly check it up at some point later. Here we go with what is the birds card. I'm getting notifications all over the place. I just don't know how to turn all of them off in readiness for this, because then I forget to turn them on, and I actually do need the reminders. Otherwise, I'd forget lots of things. So anyway, here we go. And this is about communication, isn't it? 12, birds. That's the card we're on, and that is the keywords of comings and goings, small problems, verbal communications, and it can be misunderstandings. So, yeah, that's okay, Keza. I'm pretty sure it is, because a girlfriend takes a week off when it's moon week, which is new moon week. So that's why I remember that. I haven't looked at my Astro Gold for a little while. I'm going to move back into relearning my astrology. So anyway, here we go, and that's under communications as well, verbal understandings, misunderstandings. That's the keywords, right? We're up to that. How the King of Birds was chosen. This is the fairy tale that's connected with this one. So it's that main story. Mayan, as in Mayan, can be hard to understand some of pronunciations at times, isn't it? I am assuming you can all hear me clearly. Anyway, it's the Quetzal, a bird that's plain, campaigned to be the king of the birds. He convinced the beautiful but shy roadrunner to lend him his feathers. So when the Quetzal was chosen, because of his borrowed finery, he failed to return them. So it's due to this problem the roadrunner now hides and watches all the comings and goings of the other birds. I suppose because he felt it wasn't beautiful anymore. Don't know. He wants to communicate with the Quetzal, but the king of birds flies too high because he's borrowed the beautiful feathers. All of the birds in the background of this card represent how badly things can go awry when too many beaks are involved. Too many people are involved. There's almost like a crowd. So notice where the bird shows up and make sure that you truly understand what it wants to say and what's being said. So, where this is being the foundation, it's about communication for today and really becoming clear in how you are getting your message across, how you are hearing others as well, because it's not just speaking with your voice to communicate, it is actually listening so that you know what you're saying is meaningful. And there's the other birds that are in the background. We can just see some of them. There's the back of one looking over at the Quetzal that's flying high, the roadrunner without his feathers, all things that interact, that bring together what we do with communication is wanting to understand each other. Okay, now we're going to look at the moon, and appropriate that the moon is here when Kezi, it was a new moon last night. I can actually pop that up. I wonder if that'll work if I just yeah, does it matter if we have a few little interesting sides? I'm not on a work day today, having the time at home today. So if I just do them now, I have no idea how I'm doing this one. If I was in my BeLive, I would, because you can share screens with this. Now, new moon would mean that the sun and the moon are within a very close distance at the moment. Yes, it would have been last night. 29 and 23 degrees is what they're at the moment. So if that was last night, I'm not sure how I'll go back on that. I can do it that way. Whoa, I went back a few days, I think. No, yesterday. Let me have a see. Oh, 22:16. Oh, yeah. Look, anyway, I digress. I'll look that one up, and I'll probably post a snapshot of that in the chat. Keep an eye on it. We're at the moon, which is card 32. So we're along in the journey of what is a Lenormand, flow of cards. In the tarot, you have the major arcana that is the journey of life, starting from the Naught card that is the Fool, that moves up until actually I'm not sure what the last one is, 21. Oh, I should revisit my tarot as well. That's the completion of the journey. It's probably the World or something like that. Anyway, I keep taking myself off track, don't I? So here we are at the moon card. Here it is, with that beautiful carriage and horses and castle and that beautiful full moon. This is the story that's got, it's the keywords of recurring events, cycles, awards, public acclaim. So it's the moon spotlighting Cinderella's coach. And isn't it a gorgeous coach? If we look, what was the vision that you are reminded of from reading the story or having it read to you as a child? Because I know it's something that I did read from a beautiful fairy tale book that was perfectly illustrated for the fantasy world and imagination and everything. It was a wonderful book. Had lovely pictures in it. So here we are, the Cinderella story, and it's the Little Slipper story, not just the Cinderella story that I learnt. It's different. So Cinderella's been seen more than once by a prince to make a deep impression. So when you see this card, remember that the public acclaim may be close at hand. So it's things having the light put on them to bring it out of that shadow, the darkness, and shining your light in its glory. Like Cinderella, you may be noticed. So of course she was noticed by her for her beauty. Your awards may come for other things. The moon shines on cycles as well, so stick to the plan to reap the applause. If you are looking at this card in terms of a business venture, then promotion is a necessity. The fairy godmother dressed up Cinderella so she could be even more noticed. So pay attention to things that happen more than once. Okay, so this could be the moon pointing to something important that you may need to know. So what lies near the moon may be things that deserve praise from you. So don't overlook the power of the moon in showing you where you can improve yourself or where you can garner more attention. So it really is a card of being able to come into notice. So and having other things that are important to you being made noticed to you that you're noticing as well. So that's a really good aspect of this one, to be able to take notice of what's the next card, and that this communication, remember this card is supporting our communication and what's happening for the bird card, but we're bringing into it that is from our heart. So card 24 is the heart. It seems pretty obvious, but it's not only about that is romantic type of energies. It is that which is, oh goodness. Oh, I forgot to say hello to Karen. Hi, Karen. You're from New Zealand. Beautiful country. Oh, I'd love to go back and visit there. Stay for a little longer this next time. That's beautiful country. Yeah, and welcome. So here, from the heart, the keywords are simple. It's love, it's passion, it's attraction. So, in whatever way that is, I love living my life from that as much as I can in my humanness, from that unconditional love, in placing love as the center of what and we are. This is in the center of what we're looking at today, too. So, it's bringing that energetics of unconditional love, and that flows through into all these other areas. So this is the Bulgarian story of Cinderella, which is another aspect of those wonderful familiar fairy tales we have. Why I'm reading these from the booklet. So this one's otherwise known as, and I'm no idea of whether my pronunciation is correct, but it's Pepeljashka. So how that's pronounced, I don't know. So I'll pronounce it Pepeljashka. The handsome prince sees a lovely young woman in a beautiful dress in church. Not knowing she is Pepeljashka, a mistreated stepdaughter, he's fascinated by her. He sees her 3 times, then goes looking for her lost shoe. The attraction between the two was instant, but the connection didn't come so easily. Lucky for you, when heart shows up, a lover may be close at hand, especially if a cared for another person is close, especially if a card. My eyes were crossing then. A card for another person is close. Oh, well, we don't have that, but that's fine. It's still that aspect of, if that's important in your life at the moment, expect a lover or really deep, true friend to be coming into your life. Can also point the way to something that you're passionate about. So look for the cards that are nearby, which are our moon, our scythe, and the birds, of course. So it's interconnecting with each of their energies. Um, so our Pepple Yashka has her happily ever after because her prince didn't give up. So it's persistence as well. You must seek your own love by leaving your heart's door open. This card says your partner can't be that far away, so keep your eyes open and your heart as well. And remember that you also can also find passion in doing things that fulfill you. So this is bringing forward that is going to really be and communicating to others what our passion is. Follow through with what you're wanting to pursue. It's that persistence and pursuit, and follow through with this, connecting with the birds and that Quetzal Roadrunner story. Be that roadrunner that's going to persist and actually get your feathers back if you need to, because we've got the scythe here that's supporting that as well, I feel. We've had the scythe several times over the last couple of weeks, and it's the story that's got it almost seems a negative card, but it actually isn't. What we're looking at is the keywords of cutting, swift repercussions, accidents, danger, removal. But it can also be that is positive, because once certain things in our lives have been cut out or dealt with, that they can bring forward that flourishing renewal. It's almost like pruning a rose bush, or cutting out the weeds that allows that is meant to grow, that you want to grow more flourishingly. Is that a word, flourishingly? Anyway, to flourish more prolifically and etc. So here we are with the tale of the husband who was to mind the house. That's the fairy tale name. And the husband harangues his wife. He tells her he can do what she does, and she can't do his job. I can do I can do yours, you can't do mine, type thing. So the wife goes out to work in the fields, leaving her husband behind to do the housework, the housewife. While she accomplishes her task, her husband has a series of accidents and disasters that include a cow hanging from a rope. And I always wonder that. I'm going to have to really go and search this story fully. The wife has to act swiftly to correct all the mistakes, so I dare say the scythe comes into it by cutting down the rope that's hanging the cow as the first move. But anyway, the mishaps have already occurred but can't be remedied. So there's no way to rectify the damage done. No, not fully. We all know that from our own life experience. So pay attention to the imminent danger the scythe is pointing to. Now, it's not. So I feel that what this is doing is giving us an indication and a warning of what might be possible if we're not paying attention. So if you're using sharp things, be careful. If you are doing things that you feel you need to rush with, slow it down, so that what you're doing is being more present and paying attention in what's happening. And this is, again, relevant for the communication that we're needing to take part in through our day to day. So I think with all of that, I don't think it's more the warning of don't put yourself in harm's way, and effectively the husband did learn his lesson. So what we have there, it is the revealing and shifting into what is our heart's passion and persistence, and getting things done, yes, but being careful in the way of how we're communicating today. So take care that there's not, and it's almost for me feeling like it's to take care too, that there's not someone stabbing you in the back that's going unnoticed. Have an awareness of what is happening in your surrounds, your environment, but most of all, bring in that is that unconditional love into how you are communicating today. So very interesting little spread this morning with the the moon, the heart, and that side supporting our birds, that communication. Remember also that with communication and anything that we do need to spend that time being a wise owl and listening. It's two ways. It is what is most important, I feel, in communicating anything. We do need to sit in silence at times just to take in, absorb what the energy feels like, and also the listening, using our other senses as to what's happening around us, but being present. Not just going off with the fairies, but it's being present and having that awareness, opening your heart to what's around, what's available for you. Okay, thank you for all. Thank you all for being here. Hi there, Shaz. Wonderful to have you here this morning. I bet you're still tucked up in bed. And thank you from Keza. So, a wonderful spread. Thank you for being here. And from Karen, thank you. And it is wonderful, isn't it, that we can actually share using this technology. And I'm just going to put the website on the chat there. A bit too, a bit too late for cutting. Oops, yeah, you already cut your fingers, but they're on the repair, aren't they? And isn't it something that once you've done things like that, you tend to be a lot more careful next time around when things do come to hand that you're using that are sharp. But it's also, there's other ways that we can move through life with what happens, that brings us alternative options. Because I remember, when you break a wrist, to have a plate in it and then a thumb, and I had a lot of experience in that side of things, in having to use a hand that is not my natural writing hand, and keyboarding, and the technology that I use still allowed me different ways of using and doing things. And it does give you time to slow down, sit back, reflect. So even though there may be things that you feel are negative, I just feel everything is. It is. And it's learning opportunities. It's experiencing in different ways and seeing life from a different perspective, isn't it? And it's fun. Make it fun. Put that intention in your life. Be happy. Be the best that you can be. What more can we do? Be your best. Be you. So I'm going to leave it there. So thank you so much, everyone. And from Diana, thanks. And look, we'll see you tomorrow morning, hopefully around the 8 o'clock. I nearly missed the mark this morning, but I just made it. So it's wonderful to join with you. And we'll see you tomorrow morning. Keep being the best you. Namaste.